No, I-L-B-T. No. Is that, stand for I like, okay.
You're on the right track. I love big.
I got it.
Only Joe Walsh.
How's it going, Joe?
How's it going?
Good evening, everybody. K6EGG here.
There's the big guy. How's it going, Greg?
Good. Just got off work and playing with some more video stuff. I got some good info and training for some guys at work today, so I made a little bit of changes here.
Very cool. I really enjoyed the heck out of your video. My friend Luis and I were listening to it again some more today, and I've actually been doing some adjustments this evening and talking to the guys, so I don't know if you noticed any difference in how I sound. I actually pulled some of it back based on a video that Ward sent to me, and boy, do I ever sound different on his radio than I do on yours.
That's interesting. Huh. What was different about it?
Well, on his, I sounded very nasally, very just not natural, compressed, digital sounding, I would say.
You know, you just made me think I know what it is. Everybody's got different speakers. What it should be done, which I got, it should be done on a studio monitor speaker where you don't try to make a lot of highs and don't try to make a lot of lows. It's just a studio monitor speaker. I bet it is. Everybody's got a different speaker.
Well, he had a quality speaker. This was definitely a quality speaker, and you and whoever else was on the recording, Alex, sounded perfectly normal and fine to me, but I sounded way off.
Well, everybody always listens to their own voice, always thinks they're way off. I think I'm way off, too.
Well, that's very true, but again, I could compare it to Greg's video, and it didn't sound anything like Greg's video.
Well, that could be a lot of different things. How loud the video was, the angle he took the speaker off, the acoustics bouncing off the wall, the sound in the wall. Because he's in the audio, he can tell you it can be a lot of different things. Ain't that right, Greg?
Yeah, you actually sound not as good as you did last night, to be honest with you. I have the stream up again if you want to watch it. I'm live again tonight, so you actually sound worse than you did last night, I personally think.
Yeah, and that's the kind of feedback that I need, Greg, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know if you know it or not, but on the 9700, we've got the filter 1, filter 2, filter 3. Filter 1 is the one that gives you the widest bandwidth, not only for receiving, but also when you transmit, which I did not know until I had this radio for quite a while. So if you're not on filter 1, you're on filter 2, you are receiving and transmitting on a much narrower bandwidth, and that will definitely make a difference.
Yeah, I'm definitely using filter 1 here. So, Greg, they had me turn my mic gain. I tried turning my mic gain all the way up to 70. I'm at 63 now. When I talked to you last night, I was at 47. I played with my compression. I went from 5 up to 8, and now I turned it down to 6. And this was all based on me hearing my video, my voice on the video that Ward sent me. So I don't know. I might keep turning things back down and getting them closer to where I was last night.
Well, I have the video up right now. You can probably play back the video from last night and play back the video from tonight, and you can see the difference how you sound. You sounded a lot more natural to me, at least last night. I listened to it in my car as well on the way into work to compare, and I have listened to it on a pair of like normal Yamaha speakers. So I definitely noticed the change, and it sounds like it's still too much, I guess is the best word. But I mean, you could compare for yourself between the two YouTube nights.
Exactly, and that's why I really, really like what you're doing with that video. It's a perfect tool for doing exactly that. So yeah, so for purposes, I guess, of testing and me checking your video, my current settings right now are mic gain at 63%, the comp is at 6, and I believe I turned my bass up to a +3 and my treble to a -2. Greg, now would you think if I'm sounding overly digital and not natural, do you think that would be mostly because of the comp, or would that be mic gain?
I think it's probably a combination of both, to be honest with you. I know when I personally cranked up my compression and had my audio, my mic level high, and started messing with the EQs, it was almost like it was too much. So I just kind of left it all flat, to be honest with you. And I think I had the best result, although I'm using a different microphone as you. So sometimes not doing that much is actually better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It definitely makes sense. I mean, you sound great here, but I mean, you always do. Okay, so now I turned my mic gain down to 50%, so I'm at 50% on the mic gain, and I turned the compression down from 6 down to 5. So does that sound any better? And I guess the next step would be to go in and change the treble and bass settings.
You're not punching as much, so I mean, you may want to turn your gain back up to where it was. But I think personally, I think the compression sounds a little better. You sound a little more natural. You don't sound like you're getting squashed.
That's a great way to describe what I was hearing when I was watching the video that Ward sent me. So, yeah, I'll definitely keep the compression no higher than 5. And I turned the mic gain back up to 63% now. Does that sound any better?
I think it does. What do you guys think? And just let you know, the stream is going right now too, so you can actually take a listen to it in real time after this.
I think if you go to the meter section of the 9700, and you'll see the ALC, making sure it doesn't go over the end of the red line, and that maybe the compression just goes up no more than 5%. I think that'll get you at least halfway there.
Yeah, roger on that, Alex. I appreciate that. And I'm looking at the meter now. And on the ALC, I'm definitely not anywhere close to going over the red, that's for sure. And the compression, I don't know how this works. Should there be a separate line for the compression? Because the compression's not moving at all.
Well, probably because you're not talking loud enough to make it to compress. Probably. But yeah, mine is just barely going up to 5% compression, and my ALC, I think it's up. It doesn't go over the end, but it gets pretty close, 3/4 of the way. I think it's because the audio equalizer I'm using allows me to dial up the voltage going from my equalizer into the radio, and it makes the ALC, it drives the radio a little bit better.
Well, this is embarrassing. That made no sense to me at all why my compression wasn't moving. You know why it wasn't moving? It wasn't on.
Oh, yeah, you got to go to the function menu and turn it on.
I don't know how it got turned off. It was definitely on before.
I think anytime you change it, I think the radio automatically just turns it off.
How does that sound to you, Greg? Does that sound any different now? I would think that it would.
Yeah, you definitely sound louder and clearer there. I would definitely stick with something like that. Now, I noticed that you sound a little muffled compared to what you did last night. I would add a little more high end to it and maybe drop a little bit of the lows, just a tad.
Yeah, that actually makes sense, so let me do that.
Curtis, would you agree on that?
I do. I mean, I can definitely, on my end, I can hear the bass really good. And me personally, I do like a little bit high end. I think it gives it more articulation where you can actually understand somebody a little bit better.
Exactly. And something with sideband that I've noticed, if you have too much bass, you get a little more digitally sounding, and you sound kind of off frequency. And that's just the audio guy in me talking on that one.
Okay, so I switched things around quite a bit. So I went from a -3 on the bass to a 0, and I went from a -2 on the treble to a +1 on the treble. And again, these changes were all based on what I heard on the video that Ward sent me, where I sounded like crap. So yeah, I'm happy to change these settings, and I wish I knew if the compression was on or off on that recording that Ward made.
I'd first add a little bit more bass in. Your highs sound excellent now. You're punching through the noise.
Okay, I turned the bass up just to +1. I don't know if that's going to make much difference. Did that help any at all?
I noticed a difference. What about you, Curtis?
Oh, yeah, I can definitely, like just for me, I have my bass at 0 and my treble at +1. But I use an 8-band equalizer, so I have the highs up pretty good and the lows medium, and the middle frequencies I got them kind of down to 0.
I have my treble at +3 and my bass at 0. Once again, I'm using a totally different mic than you guys, and I have everything set to wide after that. I'm on filter 1.
Yeah, I mean, you sound great, Greg. I mean, I definitely would not recommend you crank your bass up at all. Your treble sounds good. I mean, you sound great over here.
I appreciate that. And I just don't want to overdo it. And sometimes, I think I heard Alex, I think it was N6JJI, said, sometimes messing with it back and forth, you kind of lose your sense of where you're at. So once you kind of get happy, I wouldn't mess with it, to be honest with you. I haven't touched mine in, I don't know, probably a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, roger that. So, okay, so for purposes of me listening to your YouTube video, when I go back later tonight to listen to it, my settings now are mic gain 63%, compression at 5, treble at +1, and bass at +1. Over.
Copy, and you got a nice little note for you there. I've also labeled the YouTube videos by date and what frequency everything's on as well.
Okay, so now just for fun, I'm going to turn the mic gain up a little bit. I turn it up to 70%. Is that any better or worse?
Your signal actually came up and you sound a lot louder. I would say it's better. Try somebody further away, like Curtis again.
Hey, Curtis, how do I sound with the mic gain at 70? I actually had it at 70 earlier, and most people did seem to think that was sounded better overall.
Well, you sounded good. In fact, I did a recording of you. I'm just getting ready to change the name of it so I can play it back. Just for reference, I have my mic gain at 75.
Okay, so you have no objections to my mic gain being at 70% like it is right now?
No, it sounds good to me. It sounds good to me. And, yeah, I think you do need people on the radio that, like, you know, Greg. I mean, he's a sound engineer, so you would be the guy that I would listen to.
Yeah, Roger on that. How about you, Fred? Are you still out there? How do I sound? No, we scared Fred off.
Was Keith out here tonight as well?
No, he was out much earlier. He had band practice or something to go, jazz practice to go to.
Copy. Hey, Curtis, I would love to hear myself come back as well. I kind of heard myself come back through Fred's telephone, but never directly through the radio.
Okay, yeah, I'm working on it right now, and I will play it in just a minute.
Excellent. Yeah, these radios, you know, they got a lot of functions in there, and you can really get in there and kind of, be honest with you, make your station sound kind of horrible. And when I first got this radio, I talked to my buddy, and he said everything was kind of like overdriven and he couldn't dial me in. So I think I just was doing a little too much. And sometimes, you know, messing with the EQ is just, you know, kind of overdoing it. Like when I mix a show, I kind of leave most of the stuff flat and just kind of take out stuff what I don't need. Sometimes adding makes worse. Subtracting actually makes it a little better.
That was kind of my theory when I originally got this, and I actually turned down my mic gain from 50 to 48, 47, but now everybody's telling me I sound better with it up at 70, so that's where it'll stay for now. Hey, Alex, I have a question on the mic gain.
Roger, go ahead.
How is it going to affect sideband versus when I'm on FM? Am I going to have to recalculate?
For repeaters, you may have to, because repeaters only accept certain bandwidth.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't know. I was kind of in favor of what Greg did with being a musician, mixing chords and things like that, playing with PHs, and then leave everything flat. I don't really need all that variance of it.
Roger, so it might be a matter of, you know, I can crank it up if I remember to when I'm on sideband and turn it back down when I'm on FM.
Well, I don't know how it's going to affect your bandwidth, but you ought to try some repeaters the way you have it set. It may work fine. But there's been some repeaters that, I don't know, the modulation, if you had the gain up too high, they wouldn't work right. So, you know, you just have to test things out, you know, tread through them and see what's going to go on.
If after you hear your audio coming back from Curtis, if you want to go to 520 to test it out, I'm totally cool with that because you're close enough. I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that we'll be able to hear each other pretty well, Greg.
Go ahead. You got to move up to the end, test it. The only thing I want to know, you made all these changes. Did your compressor go off when you made these changes?
Oh, sorry about that, Alex. Can you repeat that?
I said I want to know whether or not that, you know, you made these changes, and Greg said that if you made the changes, that the compressor goes off. Is the compressor still on?
Yeah, the compression is still on. I've got the COMP. It's at the top of the screen, so yeah, it's still on.
Go ahead, go up there to FM and see how it sounds, and then you're going to have to try the repeaters, but sometimes, I remember before when there's too much mic gain and you spread bandwidth, it just didn't like it, then repeaters reject you. Over.
Yeah, exactly. Roger on that. All right, Greg, you want to go to 146550?
Sure. QSY 146550.
QSY, November 6 kilowatt X-ray. K6EGG, November 6 kilowatt X-ray. Are you here, Greg?
Yep, made it over. Yeah, you sound pretty good still.
All right. So yeah, let me go ahead and give you a test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I've still got the gain up at 70% on here. So I'm going to turn it down to 50% so we can actually make a difference and compare.
To be honest, I wouldn't touch it. It sounds nice and loud. It's not distorted. It's not anything. You can listen to it once again on the YouTube. A little hint too also is when you make the changes for the EQ, it's only set for USB, and the compressor's not on FM as far as I know. So it's only the mic gain that's the same.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, no compression on FM. So just for the fun of it, I went and turned the mic gain down to 50%. So I'm at 50% now. How does that sound? Test 1, 2, 3. Over.
It sounds a little bit lower. I noticed it more in the scope than I noticed it more in my ear, because I think I turned up my headphones a little bit. But on the audio scope, you're definitely a lot lower. I don't see the frequencies bouncing around as much as it was.
Oh, that's interesting, especially on, that's kind of surprising to me a little bit on FM. All right, so I'm still at 50%. I don't know if this, can I change the mic gain while I'm still transmitting?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think I've ever messed with it.
All right, well, I'll try it. I'm at 50% now, 50%, and now I'm going to go and turn it up to 70%. And here we go. I'm turning it up, and now I'm at 70% mic gain, 70% on FM. Test 1, 2, 3. Over.
I did hear it come up, and I noticed that your signal dropped just a little tiny bit.
That's interesting. Why would the signal drop? Anyway, maybe it didn't take effect. How does it sound now? Test 1, 2, 3. Test. Over.
Fine, and ignore what I said about your signal because it was still popping around a little bit. It's probably just my receive, but you're coming in plus 40, so it's very hard to tell.
Yeah, exactly. Roger that. Yeah, when you're coming in that strong, you're probably going to sound pretty good either way.
Yeah, I think you sound excellent on FM. I wouldn't mess with anything going between the two. I know for me, I kind of made a mic gain, so I had a happy medium between both, and so I wouldn't have to really mess with it too much, if you know what I mean, unless someone said something. So I don't touch it after I said it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, roger that. All right, you want to go back to sideband?
Sure. QSY back over.
All right, QSY, November 6 kilowatt X-ray.
Hey, Greg, W6GLA.
Kilo 6 Echo Golf Golf. Yeah, go ahead, man. What's up?
Weird. I've been listening to you guys, and, okay, so the guy that you were talking to down there in Long Beach or whatever, he seems to be, like, right on frequency, but you're, like, I got you at 146555 on the scope, which is kind of weird. I mean, I can still hear you on 550, but you come in better on 555.
I'm actually talking to somebody in Riverside, and I'm on 146555.
Okay, well that was weird because he was coming in on 550, and you're coming in on 555. I couldn't hear him when I went to 555, but he was coming in on 550. So, okay, somebody's off.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Did he sound fine, or do I sound fine?
Okay, I'm on 555 now, so I probably sound a little better now, and you definitely sound better. But I can't hear him when I go to 555. I can't hear him at all. But when I go to 550, I got him maybe about an S2, S3.
Wow, that's really strange. And yeah, you sound a lot better since you slid over. So I'll let him know. Have you been on the sideband at all?
Yeah, I've been on 550 or 250, and everybody sounds pretty good. As far as the scope goes, everybody seems to be right on frequency, but I noticed that there have been some people like Fred. Fred sounded actually better tonight than he did the other nights. He's always seemed to have been off frequency a little bit. I've got to retune him in. And then all the other guys sound fine. So I don't know if he's, got a split on or something where he's receiving a certain way and then he's transmitting another way. I mean, he sounded like he was on frequency tonight, which is really bizarre.
Maybe his RIT is on or whatever it's called. I know I've made that mistake once.
That's what I'm thinking because, when we check in on the Bozo net, I got to tune those guys. They're like minus 50 hertz off, for me to tune them in. So I basically just, whoever the control operator is, I go and tune them in, and then they're usually off. And so I just go to their frequencies, and then I can always tell when somebody isn't tuned into theirs because then they sound off. So it's just really weird. I don't know if people just don't hear it or they just don't know.
I think some of those older radios, they slide around when they heat up, and a lot of those guys have older radios. So I think that might be part of it, and I think part of it what you just said there too. I know when I was talking on 250, I was actually split up 8 KCs to tune him in tonight.
Okay, that's why you sounded a little off to me, because this is a brand new radio, and I've talked to other guys, on 9700s, and I've talked to other guys on 991 alphas, and very rarely are they off frequency. They're just dead on. I ask them what it says on the dial, and they're dead on. And then some of these other guys, maybe they're talking on a 910H or a 847, or they're still transistor radio or transistorized radios, but and a lot of those radios back then had the TXCO or whatever it is, the crystal that kind of keeps them in line. Even the 746s had that TCXO. So I don't know how they fall out of frequency so easily, but a lot of those guys down there, I have to tune into them to really hear them.
Yeah, I thought that was the only one that had to do that. And I know some of those guys are running horizontal and moving their beams around. I noticed that kind of makes a little bit of a difference, but I don't know for sure, but I think it might.
Comment?
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Hi, this is Luis, KN6GUY. I was listening to you guys too, and I just texted Rob to get back to 555, see if he can try his radio. I can hear you really well, Greg.
Oh yeah, you're right on top of me. Can you hear Eric there, W6GLA?
Yes, I can hear him too, fairly well as well, yeah.
Eric, is he on to you? Is Luis on to you?
Yeah, he's right on. I hear him no problem. I'm getting a little flutter here and there. It's just my location. I hear him, though, at about 3 S units. I've got you at about 7. It's just my location. I'm up here in, the mountains, 7,100 feet up in Sugarloaf. So, there's a lot of trees and rocks in the way, so I'm sure, if I had a better line of sight, it would be a lot easier. But, there are certain stations that come in, like Fred. I mean, he just booms in here. And then the other guys down in that area, there's a couple guys that boom in here, but they're usually running power. And, so I think it has a lot to do with location, too. It's not just, the antenna and the grounding system.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting because I was listening to you guys, and I was on 146.550, and I could hear Rob pretty well, and actually I could hear you too as well. But I didn't know you were on 555. I switched to 555, and you're really clear on 555. It's like I'm actually tuned in with you. Yeah, I told Rob to switch back. I don't know if he's going to get back to FM.
Yeah, well, that's what I only found out that because of the radio that I have. It's got a waterfall on it, and I've got it centered right now, and I could tell that Greg was off, and then as soon as I turned him into 555, he was right on. And then the station he was talking to in Riverside, I had to tune him in to 550. And if I come up to 555, I couldn't hear him. But I knew something was kind of off. But I kind of figured it out now.
Hey, and Eric, I'm also running some tests. I have this going on YouTube as well, so you can actually hear yourself come back through the computer through my station if you're really bored and have a computer in front of you.
Yeah, well, I could do it if you give me the YouTube site. Now, is it done live, or can I, if I go on the computer at a later date, can I hear the recording, or is it done like live?
It's streaming live right now, and I'll keep it up for probably a week or so on my YouTube page. If you type in my call letters, Kilo 6 Echo Golf Golf, live, should be the first one that pops up, tonight's broadcast. And you can, if you go to my page, you could probably see last night's as well.
Okay, copy that. Yeah, so it's basically your call sign, and then you just go on YouTube, and then I put your call sign, and then it's live. Is that it?
Yeah, just type in the search engine K6EGG and then live.
All right, copy that. Yeah, I'll listen in. Because I'm kind of curious too, because you're talking on a 997, right?
I'm talking on a 9700.
Yeah, that's what I meant, a 9700. I'm sorry. Yeah, and a lot of the guys down there are talking on 9700s as well. And I've talked to quite a few guys on the 991 Alphas, and I don't mess around with a lot of the EQs and stuff like that. What I do is I just leave it flat. I flick the switch on the microphone to the higher setting. I don't mess with the compressor or any of that crap. And I just turn the mic gain up to about 60, and then I got the amp on. And I don't know, I haven't had any complaints.
Yeah, I try not to, like I said earlier on there, on sideband, I try not to mess with it too much. Try to keep everything as flat as possible, because I don't get any complaints, and nobody's sending sending me any flowers for my audio being super good. So I'm pretty happy. No news is good news to me, if you know what I mean.
Hey, Greg, who are you talking to?
And where's that? What is it, Luis? Is he the other station out there? Where's he located at?
Hi, I'm here in Riverside, I'm here in Riverside. I think Rob just joined us too. If you guys want to tell him your findings.
Yeah, okay, copy that. I was just kind of curious on where I'm getting these signals from. I'm like in an RF hole up here, and I'm surprised to hear anybody sometimes. But anyways, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, when I used to be really into the audio aspects when I first started in the CB. You know, I always wanted to have the best audio and stuff like that. Now I'm to the point where it's like, you know what, if you can hear me clear and we're communicating, it's like, you know, hey, that's good enough for me. I don't have to have some studio sound going through, but, you know, I know how important it is to some people.
No, that is so true. We're here by Woodcrest, close to March Air Force Base. At least it used to be that.
Oh,
That is so weird. I cannot hear who you guys are talking to.
direction. I was a little further, I guess it would be southwest.
He's up in Sugarloaf.
I was off of McKinley and Magnolia.
Oh, yeah. Rob, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear anybody else. I can just hear you and Greg.
Greg, can you hear Rob?
I can hear him loud and clear. And by the way, Eric, Rob asked me to go to 146550. Instead, I went to 146555. I misheard him, so that's probably why I was off compared to where he was at. He was in the right space, and I was in the wrong spot.
Okay, well that's why you were coming in, because you hit me stronger than he does. And so when I went back to 550, I could hear him. You know, he's coming in about an S2, S3, but I could hear him for sure. But I knew you were off because I could see it on my on the waterfall.
Can you hear him? Because apparently he can't hear you.
No, I told you twice, 3 times. I can't hear anybody other than you and Greg.
I can't hear him.
Hey, Rob, are you in 146550 or 555?
550.
Slide up to 555.
Done.
Try now, Eric.
Yeah, I just heard him key up. So yeah, so that makes a big difference to me. So that's why I could hear you in between. I could hear him on 550. I could hear you on 550, but I knew you weren't on 550. So that's why I slid up here.
Rob, can you hear him now?
Not a single word. I can't even tell anybody's trying to talk.
Now that is really strange.
Super strange, especially if Luis can hear him.
Is your squelch off?
Yeah, completely.
Is your preamp on?
Negative.
Try to turn your preamp on, see if you can pick him up. Because he's in S5, almost in F7 right now.
Yeah, who's that, Rob? Because he's coming in, and every once in a while I can hear.
Absolutely nothing.
Sometimes it's just noise, so I'm not surprised he probably can't hear me.
It's weird. Are you he said he can't hear you. Are you running power tonight?
I don't have power.
I'm sorry, that was directed towards Eric. Are you running your power tonight?
Yes, I think, yeah. I don't have a meter on it right now, so I don't know what it's putting out, but it should be about 200.
That's weird, Rob. He's running power. He doesn't hear you, or you don't hear him. Does everybody want to just drop back down to sideband and see if everybody can hear everybody?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I wonder why Rob can hear Eric. You know, I can hear him here pretty well. But yeah, we can go to sideband.
All right, so we going to go back to 250?
Yeah, well, everybody slide down to back to 250 upper.
All right, W6GLA QSY.
Kilo 6 Echo Golf Golf, and this time I'm actually going to go back down. I'm QSY to 250. Sorry, 250 upper sideband. Anybody make it back yet?
November 6th, Kilowatt X-Ray, the voice of Riverside, go.
Kilo November 6, Golf United Yankee, Luis here.
Eric, you make it down here yet?
Yeah, W6GLA, can you hear me?
This is Greg. I have a copy on you. Do you have a copy on him, Rob?
Very, very faint. I could hear him. I could hear him, but very, very faint.
Yeah, so I can hear Rob, but he's not coming in super strong either. I mean, he's not even breaking the S1, but I can hear him no problem. I can hear his audio a lot better here than I could on FM.
I can pick up Eric here too. He's about an S1, but I can hear him clearly though.
Yeah, that's weird. You guys must have some weird blocked path or something between you two.
It's very possible to just have something to do with the angle.
Yeah, and you're not coming in that strong right now either. I mean, you went from a S8, S9 down to a 5, so you're not as strong either. So it could be just conditions.
Well, that's really unfortunate that you guys can't really hear each other.
Where are you located, Eric?
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time picking up Luis too. So I don't know. I'll let you guys get back at it. I'm the odd man out here. I'm way up here, so you probably can't hear me too good. So, anyways, I just wanted to chime in there, and maybe I'll go on the computer and check it out. So, anyways, Greg, take care. Rob and Luis, take care, and I'll talk to you guys later. W6GLA, I'm bowing out.
All right, Eric, it's good to hear you again, buddy. I'll be back on Sunday night probably on this one, so if you want to chat again or something, we could slide up somewhere. Anyways, take care. Kilo 6 Echo Golf Golf. And so, Rob, you told me to slide up to 146550 or whatever it was, or 550, and I slid up to 555. So Eric came in and said, "Hey, you guys are off frequency," and that was 100% my bad.
That's funny. That just goes to show how strong we are to each other, because you and I didn't even notice that. And the thing that's funny is we were doing all those audio tests and everything, and we were off by 5.
I was also on 550, and I was able to hear all the two of you with no. I didn't even know one of us was off frequency.
And are you guys directly on 144.250, or is your Eric? Do you have your RIT on by chance?
Sorry about that, Greg. I doubled with you.
Are you guys both on 144.250 straight up?
Yes, I am now.
Okay, that's better. I've kind of slid around here, and I noticed a difference.
I actually wasn't, so I think it was 5005 or something like that, so now I'm straight, 250.
I was just making sure my radio wasn't going haywire or something, because it seems like everybody down in Long Beach, I got to slide up 5 KCs, especially Fred.
Well, we had a long conversation about that earlier tonight with Alex, and it was an interesting conversation that went on for quite a while. And it seems sideband on 2 meters can really be kind of a pain in the butt. And he said you just got to tune people in the best you can and almost not even pay much attention to where you're actually at frequency-wise.
Oh, I totally agree with him 100%. It's just when I'm talking to you, you sound right on frequency on 250, and those other guys, I don't know why. Maybe it's the distance or something. They're coming in 5 KCs up.
Yeah, Fred is he's the one that always seems off the most to me for some reason, like up to 7 KCs off. But anyway, how does Luis sound to you? Because he sounds muffled to me.
I would agree. You could probably take a listen to YouTube just to reassure that, but I definitely notice he sounds a little muffled to me.
Try this out now, Greg. I was playing around when Rob was talking because maybe we're too close. It's a little different for us here, but you actually sound better, Rob, on 250.05. I have to go up about 5, and then you're almost spot on. On straight 250, you sound a little robotic, so I have to kind of fine-tune you a little bit. Greg sounds pretty good here, but so I was a little off. How do I sound now to you, Rob and Greg?
Yeah, to me it sounded worse. You sound even more muffled.
Yeah, you sound pretty bad here too, so I have to be up about 5 to kind of be pretty tuned with you.
And see, both of you guys, and you could probably listen to this on YouTube as well, that I have to slide like 8 kc difference between the two, both you guys in.
Yeah, like you sound pretty good here at 250, Greg, but I have to go up. I can hear Rob fine, but he sounds a little weird if I stay here. But if I go up, then you don't sound that good. So, but I'm going to switch up a little bit, Rob, and let me know how I sound to you.
Well, I went down about 6 kcs to get to you, so I was listening to you at 249.94, and that's what I'm transmitting on now, so you're probably going to have to come searching after me to make me sound good again.
Yeah, now you sound better, right about 250. How do I sound to you now?
Yeah, you still sound a little bit muffled, but not as bad as you were before.
And you guys are both tuned into me now.
I look at the changes that you sent me by text from our friend down there who has a 991A, and there was only one thing that I had USB, and it was supposed to be data, so I kind of switched that, but everything else was pretty much the same. So I think it's just a fine-tuning with sideband. It could be like that, you know. Sometimes you just have to kind of mess with the dial to get the best sound.
Between all the different changes we made, my head's spinning right now.
Yeah, exactly, Roger that. The thing that really throws a monkey's wrench into it is the fact that everybody's radios drift, and we're all on slightly different frequencies on sideband.
Yeah, that's what I was talking with Eric on FM about that. I noticed during the Bozo net, I have to like tune around, sit there and just back and forth, and they're swinging their beams around. Some of them are horizontal, some are vertical, and stuff like that. So it's like really difficult to get everybody tuned in the way that they should. You know what I mean? Nobody's in the same spot.
Exactly. That vertical versus horizontal thing makes a huge difference too. But I could not get over how bad I sounded on the video that Ward sent to me. I was just, completely digital and unnatural sounding. I sounded like a girl as far as I'm concerned.
Have you listened to yourself yet tonight?
No, I haven't. One thing I noticed about listening to the video last night, I was kind of mad at myself because what I was noticing was I had your video on and I had the volume it was still pretty low, but I had the volume on, and man, this microphone picks up everything.
Yeah, I can hear your voice echo in the background there, but I think part of that is because we're so close, or your signal's coming in here so much. I mean, you're still 25 miles away, but that might be part of it too.
Yeah, I just felt like I couldn't get as good of a comparison of how I sounded with the YouTube video on in the background.
That is so true. See, now I can. Now I think the audio is pretty good for the three of us. I don't know how you guys are picking me up, but I'm right at 250, and I mean it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And I don't have to be chasing after anybody. I think it's right on.
And I think there's somebody else in there. Go ahead.
I said you sound better here than my cell phone.
You sound a little different now, Fred.
Yeah, well, I guess there's moisture in the air.
Yeah, conditions may be rotten right now.
Yeah, Fred sounds real good to me, and I'm on 249.96.
Well, on Sunday, when I go on, I'm going to have hopefully have a camera pointed at my radio so you can see the audio scope, what frequency I'm on and everything too as well.
Very cool. Luis, did you confirm, do you have your compression on?
No, I'm not sure. I don't think I had anything about compression on what you sent me.
Yeah, I don't know if it did, but I'm sure that your radio does have compression on it, so that's something I would check.
Yeah, I'm sure it does too, but I never mess with it. And most of what he sent, it was already programmed that way, except for that one data versus USB, which means it sends the port in the back of the radio versus data, something like that. But everything else was pretty much on spot. I'm looking here. I don't see anything about compression.
Wonder if they use a different term for it. I wish Keith was out here tonight so he could kind of go through that with you.
Comment?
Yep.
I'm going to bow out. I'm going to leave the stream up for another, 30 minutes or so, but I'm going to call it a night. I got kind of a long day tomorrow, so you guys have a good evening. Eric, if you're still listening out there, if you're listening on YouTube, maybe have a good night. Luis and I think Alex, Fred, and Rob, have a good evening. This is Kilo 6 Echo Golf from the beautiful city of Chino.
Hey, thanks a lot, Greg. Actually, I need to get out of here, too. I was planning on getting out of here about 20 minutes ago. Oh, man. That's how radio goes, though. But everybody, it was good talking to you. Have a great evening. And 7-3, catch you guys out here tomorrow, hopefully. November 6th, Kilowatt X-ray. Have a good evening.
Good night, Greg and Rob, and I'm also checking out as well. 73 to everybody, and good night. We'll probably catch up again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
I got a comment for you, Rob.
Go, real quick.
I'm getting senile again.
Why? What'd you do?
I forgot your name. Is it Ron or Rob?
Rob. Romeo, Oscar, Bravo. Just remember, Bravo, Rob, Bravo.
NOx filter. If you change your NOx filter, that also changes your voice. So if you guys are changing your NOx filter, your noise filters, it's kind of like rob Peter to pay Paul. You know, we're going round and round. You get audio, but you got to keep the same notch filter, the same noise blankers and everything. Because you change that, that also changes the audio.
Yeah, roger that. I'm not using a notch filter, but good point, though. Have a good evening, Fred. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, there's voice of the Cerritos, the weakest station out here. Kilo November 6 Oscar Sierra, the quiet one. I heard Sugarloaf earlier this evening. Check in. Alex, N6EGG, are you still out there, Alex? Are you still out there, Alex? K6OS. Okay, we're going to get out of here too. K6OS, 73s. Okay, test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Kilo November 6 Oscar Sierra. Audio test, audio test, audio test. Audio test, audio test, audio test. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Kilo November 6 Oscar Sierra.